Welcome to the first ever edition of Truster.tv. Just to explain, this is a magazine program that brings together recordings of people live streaming in social isolation, videos of new tracks, interviews and other features. Starting off on the show today, we have a fantastic video from the Anglo-French punk warriors, Healthy Junkies, and this is All Talk.
So, I met this cute guy on an app, and he was like, "Do you like to party?" I'm like, "Sure, I like to party." And he was like, "Cool." So, I met this guy, he's like cute and stuff, and he takes me to this like club, and I mean, it's like pretty neat. So I met this cute guy on an app, and he was like, "Do you like to party?" I'm like, "Sure, I like to party." And he was like, "Cool. Kinky emoji. Hot."
Sex, lost control. Sex, lost.
That was the inimitable Leg Puppy with the video for Kinky Emoji. And before that, you heard the Healthy Junkies with their video for All Talk. Now, Josie is a young singer-songwriter from Buckinghamshire who was coming to the end of her first short UK tour when the COVID-19 situation struck and curtailed the last few dates of that tour. She's also been playing some gigs for Cafe Nero Music, which will continue once we're out of lockdown. We caught up with Josie playing a live streaming performance of the Bill Withers classic, Ain't No Sunshine.
Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. It's not home when he's away. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone, and he's always gone too long. Anytime he goes away, I wonder this time where he's gone. I wonder if he's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone, and this house just ain't no home. Anytime he goes away, and I know, 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 I know when he's gone. Oh, he's gone too long. Anytime he goes away, anytime he goes away, anytime he goes away, anytime he goes. Thanks.
Fantastic. That was Josie and her version of Ain't No Sunshine. Next up, we have a video by the London singer Amy Sincere, and this is called Wild World.
It's up to
the sand, my feet are stuck to the ground. I had to shut my ears to the poisonous sound. When I went to the rally to hear what they say, I feared for my life, so I ran away. And the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. Yeah, the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. There's no time for polite with the end in sight, and your neighborly chat becomes a vicious fight. I stopped planting cabbage and picked up a gun, and now they celebrate my story every day in the sun. And the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. And the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, If the truth is fake, it's a sad simulation, a salutary tale of misinformation. When the boy cried wolf, we turned down the sound, and then we watch all the blood seeping into the ground. And the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. Yeah, the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. Yeah, the crowd shouted louder, the crowd shouted louder than me. Yeah, the crowd shouted louder than me. Yeah, the crowd shouted louder than me. Yeah, the crowd shouted louder than me. The crowd shouted louder than me.
Amazing. That was the Greeners and Crowd, the video for that. And before that, you had Amy Sincere with the video for Wild World. The Trusted Doc radio show goes out at 5 p.m. every Saturday afternoon on XR FM. Here are some of the highlights from recent shows. This is God Knows from Limerick and Who's Asking.
You get the drill, no being cute, not being cute. Forget tools for work in the garden, I'm working the land. Flying the flag, I'm flying the plane. Working the land, I'm not on form, I'm on brag. Do it for the family, you do it for the bands. Who's asking again? Pass me a pad in a pen. We're up in the levels again. Tell a friend, tell a friend.
Sam Leo is a singer-songwriter from Bolton. This is new from her. It's called Stay. Polly Hymns are a band from Sheffield. This is their latest one. It's called Down with the Kids.
Nothing was happening if I was down to the block. To turn it on and off again. Down with the kids 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 again.
Pimlican is a producer and artist from London. This is Never Run Away. is from High Peaks in Derbyshire. This is his latest offering. It's called We Never Done.
We never die, no eulogy.
Kairos are from Leeds. This is new from them. It's called Falling Apart. Well, my next guest on the show is Abe Berry, who is the bass guitarist with the band Albertine, and also, like a lot of people in new music, wears many hats, one of which is also manager of Jackson's Lane Arts Centre, where we would have been staging the Freshen and Net Live Festival for the second year running in April, were it not for lockdown. So, Abe, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Thanks, Neil.
And you got is that an acoustic bass you got there?
No, it's actually guitar.
Oh, it's a guitar. Okay.
I realised I don't have an acoustic guitar. I've got a couple of semi-acoustics, so during lockdown I treat myself to a nice Yamaha classical, which has given me a different way of writing. You know.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
I'm not really a guitarist, so.
And you've been, as a band, you've been kind of rehearsing and recording, sort of through social distancing locations, using technology, I take it.
Yeah, more than ever. And so we're using this app called Tracked. It's very simple. It's like having an 8-track recorder that you can all contribute to, and you can mix down and stuff. And it's literally just like, you know, like the old 8 tracks, like a Fostex. So it's very simple, and the quality's good. But I was reading about it. It's the guys that set up Trident Studios in '68. I think they sold the studio on. It's only used, you know, where Bowie and Queen and the Beatles all recorded. And it's now just a place for voiceovers, but I think they've sold it and then decided there was a need for a simple app, something that was based on the sort of stuff they did in the 70s. And that's what it is. It sounds like I'm selling it. It's free, so it's great.
Oh, sounds brilliant. And so just before we talk about Albertine, so we want to talk about the track we're going to play. What's the news with Jackson's Lane at the moment? What plans are you able to make while you're in lockdown?
I mean, like everyone else, we're doing everything sort of virtually and online. So like a lot of our, you know, theatre and circus artists and musicians are all doing, you know, streams and tutorials and trying to keep the artistic activity going as best we can. But we're now thinking about doing stuff where we can have just individual performers in the building and doing some live streaming of live stuff, or if it's artists that live together, maybe 2s and 3s. But we've just done one that was a guy who looks after our building called Andy. He's great, and he did a thing in 3 of our different spaces: the theatre and the big studio upstairs, and then downstairs also, of him doing the song from Cats, Memories, on a flute and harp, and it really got to us, you know, very, very emotional to see our building, you know, deserted but being used. So it got us thinking that, well, we can do more of that. We could do gigs, you know. Again, I watched the Post Malone Nirvana gig last night. I couldn't work out if the 4 band members were together or not in the same place, but you know, it seems to be possible. Are there anything better than that concert that was on the other night with Lady Gaga's thing? Anything?
Yeah, that got a pretty bad press.
Apart from I enjoyed the Stones and Billie Eilish, that's about it. But,
Yeah.
All for a good cause. All for charity.
Yeah, it didn't get a great press. So Albertine have been busy, and you got a new track. You want to talk about the new song?
Yeah, it's called Baby You Serve Your Time. Actually, we wrote it, I guess, 6 months ago, and we're gonna premiere it. We're going to see if Tom would premiere it on BBC Six and play it for the first time live at the gig. And then this happened. So we thought, well, let's record it in the way that I just mentioned earlier, and let's make a little video and get it out there. So we did it on the day that we would have played Fresh on the Net live. That was a nice thing to do. It was a nice impetus and inspiration for us to do it, and we're very happy with it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people shared that, myself included, on social media. I think a lot of people were feeling the same way about the day. I think a couple of other bands who would have been playing did similar things as well. So
yeah.
So what's the story behind the song?
It's interesting because it's got the story. I mean, Phil's the lyricist, and I think the title can be seen as on many different levels, but it seems to have taken on this coronavirus thing that, you know, you've served your time, and the kind of melancholy around it. So it certainly wasn't, the lyrics were not written because it was written 6 months ago. But I think the story's become something about the isolation. And as I said, the words and the melody just seem to, as a fan of the band said, captured the zeitgeist a little bit. So who am I to argue with that?
Yeah, quite so. And influence-wise, you mentioned Velvet Underground as being...
Well, it's just something that I heard when Phil came up with a sort of really beautiful kind of keyboard refrain that reminded me a bit of Sunday Morning, and sort of simplicity of it as well. Sort of like the girl Spector's, Phil Spector girl bands, Ronettes, Shangri-Las kind of thing as well. So we don't often look back that much, but I think everyone's getting a bit nostalgic at the moment. You know?
Yeah, that's very true. But you do have a genre that you've carved out over the years of being on BBC Six Music and BBC Introducing, etc., where you're known as the only rhythm and noir band.
Rhythm and noir, yeah. So it's kind of a mixture of R&B and sort of noir film soundtracks, I suppose. You know, people use the words like lynchy, and I think a lot of that is also down to our producer Mike Bennett, who's done a lot of film stuff, and he's worked with people like I think he did something with Aleister Crowley, of all people, and he's done stuff with The Fall and a lot of spoken word stuff. He did this kind of weird thing with Rick Mail once as well. So he's a bit like, you know, George Martin didn't start off with pop bands. He started off with films and, you know, classical and comedy things. And Mike Bennett's similar, but he brings, I'd say, soundscapes to it. He goes out and records. It's a bit like Martin Hannett goes and records silence and comes back and says, "We're going to put this silence on the record." But it just kind of textures which give, you know, sometimes quite hard to replicate live. That's anything.
But it does explain the kind of cinematic aspect of your music.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a misunderstood genius. But it's just his latest thing is he's working with. Remember the band Fuzzbox? We've got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it. They've reformed and he's now working with them, which is only Mike Bennett would think to do that. You know?
I actually played them on my radio show a few weeks ago in a feature I have called Then and Now, where I compare an old track with a new one.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to hear they're back out there. So we're going to have the chance to play the video that you've made. It's like a series of images that goes with the track. So very pleased to have that on there, and good to know as well that as well as you're clearly being very creative, that you're keeping things going with Jackson's Lane too. So all good news. Yeah,
I feel like I've never been busier in the bands. We're in different parts of the country normally, so getting together is hard. This has just sparked a huge surge of creativity, and I think what's going to come out at the end of this, hopefully, I feel confident for all of us, is a lot of great art. You know, I think as long as not everyone's not singing about the virus, that's the only thing, because that could get a bit boring. You know.
There have been one or two tracks that have come into Fresh on the Net that may have mentioned the virus. Yeah, thankfully not one of yours.
Not yet. No, we'll try and stay positive.
Well, Aid, it's been brilliant having you on the show. Thanks ever so much for coming on and being interviewed. Well, enjoy the creativity while you can, I guess. And hopefully we'll be hearing Albertine on BBC Six Music and other stations again before long.
I hope so. And stay healthy and stay safe, stay warm, stay well. That's for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, amen to that. Thanks, Aid.
Okay, take care.
You too.
served your time. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time. We could fly away, join the colony on Mars. High on Olympus, we could gaze out to the stars. And when the cities burn and the sea returns, we can laugh about it all. You can take the key, come away with me, leave a shadow on the wall. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time. I think we'd better stay where the gravity ain't hard, but you'll slip away with the changing of the guard. And when the cities burn and the sea returns, we can laugh about it all. You can take the key, come away with me, leave a shadow on the wall. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Baby, you've served your time.
Big thank you to Aid Berry and Albertine, and that was the video for Baby You Served Your Time. Well, Cholly is a singer-songwriter who has roots in the West Country, but these days is based in High Wycombe. She was on the same tour as Josie, which got curtailed when the COVID-19 lockdown situation struck towards the end of that tour. But she has had an amazing year that's seen her voted 4 times into the Fresh and Annette Listening Post Fresh Faves. She's also played 3 summer festivals, including the inaugural Fresh and Annette Live at Jackson's Lane in North London, and she released the Ruminations EP towards the end of 2019. Now, luckily for us, Cholly lives with her partner Connor, who is also a guitarist and is also the artist known as Emotion for Control. So they were able to record a live stream track for us, and with a bit of screen trickery, they actually managed to also include Harris on keyboards all the way from Pakistan. This is Cholly and Ghost Fame. Charlie there with Ghost fame. And now Fragile States are a veritable indie supergroup formed in South London by the ex-member of Tiger, Dido Hallett, along with Donald Ross Skinner, who many people will know for his iconic guitar work with Julian Cope, but also with the band Salad, who reformed last year and were back on BBC Six Music, and also Dan Cross, who was in Perfect Disaster and has worked with the likes of Spiritualized and The Breeders. Well, they've got a new track out. It's not actually released yet, but there is a video. It's called I Like You, and we're very privileged to be able to have an exclusive of it right here on Trusteddoc.TV. Fragile States. Well, great to have that exclusive for you there. That's Fragile State of the video for I Like You, featuring Dido Hallett, Donald Ross Skinner and Dan Cross, and hopefully we'll have news soon about when that's going to be released. Now, Rookery are a band who, well, their lineup's pretty fluid. They can have anywhere between 2 and about 7 people on the stage from one gig to another. We caught up with them doing a live stream performance of the song Hyper Reality Star. This is Rookery from South East London.
It started staring at a bottle of uplifted bath products in the days of blowing. Entangled gates and in bins are flying, repeating the scenes of the illusions, to see what we want to see. Flying in the 6G clouds, self-elevation, hinting at, speaking to our past selves. The visit today cancelled, or just plain forgot. Have to rebook and schedule it all in again. Soon we'll be able to be everywhere and don't leave our cubicles. The viewing last night just brought it into light, into the future. Time is only a matter of circumstance. Cherry blossoms in the rain upon it, and hinting of our flight impending. North Cross remembered something on the Crescent Avenue dream and heartbeat head. Just going to collect the machine of dreams.
George and Alison from Rookery performing in social isolation there with the track Hyperreality Star. Now, Deaf Robot are from Cumbria. They have a new track out called Claim Your Stake, and we have the video for it here on Trustadoc TV.
Frame it, take the title, wear the crown.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You have been watching Trust.TV. I hope you'll tune in again in 2 weeks' time on the 19th of May when we bring you edition 2, more live stream performances, more videos, more other features and interviews and chat. For now, then, thank you very much and see you next time.